Well, there are new questions over the health of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Reports from the Reuters news agency say medical experts have been sent from China to advise on Kim's health. Earlier this week, media in South Korea reported that he was recovering after a cardiovascular procedure. But the leader hasn't been seen in public. North Korea is challenging suggestions their leader is gravely ill.
Well, that's significant because of what we know about Kim Jong-un's health. He's obese. He's a heavy smoker. Reports that he has diabetes. His father had a heart attack in 2008, died in 2011 of cardiovascular disease. And then the reports that you mentioned that Kim Jong-un had undergone surgery, and then CNN's report that he had been potentially gravely ill.
In the United States, there have been discussions within the White House about changing the format of President Donald Trump's coronavirus briefings and curtailing his role in them. It comes after Trump held an unusually short briefing on Friday and didn't take any questions from reporters. The day before that, he caused alarm by suggesting people with coronavirus may be able to be treated with ultraviolet light and disinfectant, something that alarmed medical officials. He has since claimed his remarks were sarcastic and he wasn't encouraging people to drink bleach.
U.S. President Donald Trump stayed true to form on Friday, claiming his comments were deliberately misinterpreted by the fake news media. He said his remarks on the internal use of disinfectants had been taken out of context and he'd been misunderstood.
China has been using the coronavirus crisis to invade territories in the South China Sea. And this gross violation of international law comes as the world continues to reel under the pandemic. And now U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has condemned this move, saying that democratic nations should push back. In an interview, the U.S. Secretary of State mentioned that China has become even more aggressive during this crisis. I'm quoting now from his statement. These authoritarian regimes are the kinds of regimes that hope to benefit in times of crisis. In this case, a crisis that emanated from one of their countries. The free world, the democratic nations of the world need to work together to push back against this.
Well, the spread of the coronavirus is a global event affecting every country in the world. Political leaders are being measured by their response to the crisis. And among them is Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel. She's due to step down from her role before the next general election, but thanks to rising public approval ratings over her handling of the crisis, there are calls for Merkel to continue in the job. For now, that seems highly unlikely, but could the crisis upend Angela Merkel's future plans?
Ora as bolas, se eu posso trocar o ministro, por que eu não posso, de acordo com a lei, trocar o diretor da Polícia Federal? Eu não tenho que pedir autorização para ninguém para trocar o diretor ou qualquer outro.
China's response to the coronavirus outbreak under fire as some states look to hold the communist country rightfully accountable. Mississippi now the latest to sue the Chinese government, blaming what they call, quote, a cover-up for the suffering of more than 5,000 residents infected with the virus in the state, not to mention the businesses impacted.
Well, I'll tell you, my role as the Attorney General is to protect all Mississippians, their health, their security, and their prosperity. So by bringing this suit, it allows Mississippians to seek justice and hold China accountable. Because if you look at what they've done, this has been a very malicious, it's been a very dangerous cover-up. The coronavirus has killed The coronavirus has caused serious medical damage and harm across our country, our state. It's destroyed our businesses, and it's functionally altered the way Americans will live.
Question is, does China even care? China has taken a combative approach towards lawsuits, rejecting any and all demands for reparations. On the question of numbers, Beijing says it has been transparent, but the repeated clarifications have not settled the debate. China has reported more than 80,000 cases, with over 4,000 deaths, far less than the other hotspots the world over. For some experts, it doesn't add up. And now a new study published in The Lancet has stirred up this debate. It claims that China had more than 2 lakh cases in the mainland. More than 2 lakh cases, 4 times more than the official figures.
President Tsai Ing-wen on Friday inaugurated an office tasked with clamping down on fake news. Since the coronavirus epidemic began, the government has received more than 1,000 reports of fake news, ranging from reports on toilet paper shortages to fabricated official statements.
The newly minted Cybersecurity Investigation Office under the Justice Ministry is charged with prosecuting such cases, as well as cracking down on information security threats and computer crimes.
Officials unveiled the plaque for the Ministry of Justice's Cybersecurity Investigation Office on Friday. Speaking at the ceremony, President Tsai emphasized her resolve to fight fake news.
All right, a big breaking news coming in. The union government is likely to postpone the use of rapid antibody test kits till further notice. Remember, the ICMR had advised state governments to stop using antibody test kits till it examines their quality over complaints that they were defective.
Well, Pooja, it was decided today in the group of ministers meeting that was held with all the stakeholders and COVID empaneled members who were part of the meeting. Well, the major point of discussion in the meeting was whether the rapid antibody test kits should be used or not, because the ICMR was doing its reevaluation on them in 8 states, and many of them being the ones that complained about the rapid antibody test kits and the kind of sensitivity they were showing to the results.
开始在这个山头，现在这风特别大，已经蔓延到这边了。我的天呐，浓烟滚滚，都直接着过来了，你看看，直接着到哈尔大道这里了，已经。哎呦，你看爆炸了都。那边就是。